Hello, my name is Eleanor Rowlands. I am a transdisciplinary artist based in London. I create paintings, films, performances, and soundscapes. I am also a researcher, an arts mentor, and art psychotherapist. My practice is moved by feelings of otherness, offered through the prism of ritual and magic. I explore texture, voice, recorded media, and live performance through an autistic and ADHD filter. Autism exists in my work intentionally, without being overtly placed at its center. I use dreamy world building in my films and soundscapes to disseminate timely truths about invisible challenges from an unflinchingly feminine gaze. My work has a phantasmagorical feel, overwhelming and immersive, secretive, yet particularly revealing to diverse audiences. It has been compared to a Leonora Carrington psychological landscape, at one level displaying a consciousness echoing an ancient sensibility, at another level expressing something intensely contemporary. Alongside my artistic practice, I am currently a PhD candidate within the Artistic Research Centre at Nottingham Trent University. My research is exploring how autistic stimming is an artistic methodology. Being an artist can be an isolating experience, especially a disabled artist. Physical spaces and events can be inaccessible for me. I find strength in collaboration. I collaborate with other neurodivergent creatives to develop new ways of working, experimenting with sound and video, asking questions where multimedia, technology, nature, and live performance meet. There's a bus stop. There's a bus stop, but you've been waiting for hours. And you notice the old man stooped over has been waiting a long time too. You're not quite sure when he's arrived, or was he always there? Plucking up the courage, you approach him to ask the time, whether the bus will be coming soon. And as he moves to look at the time, you notice his skin. It's straw, and his eyes greener than a slimy river, a swamp. And you know him now as the Green Man, and recognize yourself as the crone. For example, in 2022, I worked with artists Gemma Garwood and Bethan Briggs Miller to create The Deepenings, a project in which we collaborated with a local community on Mersey Island in Essex to read and retell the landscape, to develop a new folklore. I worked with participants to create soundscapes inspired by the locality, psychological landscapes bursting with collected memories, hidden words, found artifacts, and whispered verse. More recently, I created the project Biodivergent Sights and Sounds, an autistic-led, immersive and accessible interactive experience for audiences to experience nature and the magic of Harlesden Canal. Through collaborations with canal volunteers, local school children, and fellow neurodivergent musicians, I worked with the creative technologist Charles Matthews to produce a series of sensory soundscapes, digitalizing part of London's waterways. In 2019, I founded Magical Women, a neurodivergent-led model where autistic and ADHD women and non-binary artists can gather in relaxed and empowering spaces to make art. Magical Women is about removing the risk found in neurotypical spaces, creating powerful and accessible creative spaces that are both LGBTQIA+ affirming and neurodivergent affirming. Through our online exhibitions, publications, and events, Magical Women has provided a platform for over 200 neurodivergent artists. Through our training, mentoring, and support, we have provided the community and the confidence to liberate neurodivergent women and non-binary artists to express themselves and to truly be. When I was preparing this talk, Liz shared some questions for me to consider. The first was about what excites and interests me and where my ideas come from. Interestingly, it's when I'm in burnout that I get most of my ideas. It's almost as if my body and my mind is so exhausted, it goes into a sense of deep rest, and that's when I realize that I can go deeper. It feels like I'm burying myself into the soil, into the earth, and feeling nearer to the earth's core. It's almost as if I am looking for places of darkness in order to feel out in the dark, if you like, for ideas. In this sort of resting place, I am able to journey in my mind, which is quite a transcendent feeling. I might need to sleep for long periods, but during burnout is this sort of craving, if you like, to write and to draw and paint and to make. Sometimes I even go mute, and during those moments of total silence, the ideas and thoughts and dreams and colours and memories might even rush away. I might have moments of nothingness that I must drown into layering, and that layering could be layering images, sound layering, or painting physical collages on canvases. Often there are so many canvases and paintings in my home that you can trip over them, and I might not be able to stop for a very long time, so there could be 3 or 4 days of constant making. I get my ideas from the wild landscapes, the spaces such as the liminal space where there are no walls, the wilder the better. Forests where trees are crunchy underfoot and bouncy grounds made of moss and grasses. It's here, either in a graveyard or a wild vastness of space like the forest or by the water, that I come to listen, just in my mind, burn out, zone out more, daydream, journey. It is here that often brings me a place where I can explore. I am quite a solitary person. I've been bedbound and housebound for quite a number of years, and I do experience high levels of anxiety. So whilst I am an arts mentor, an art psychotherapist, a professional artist, and now also an arts researcher, I do have to go to wild spaces to feel connected and be able to collaborate with other people. It's almost like I have to recharge myself. That's how Biodivergent Sights and Sounds started, my recent project about Harlesden Canal. Biodivergent is a play on the word biodiversity, biodiverse. People often get the word neurodivergent wrong in the UK. They say neurodiverse instead of neurodivergent. There's so much shame around the word neurodivergent, as they perceive the word divergent as something to be ashamed about, but diverse as a reason to celebrate their diverse mind. But that's not what neurodiverse means. Neurodiverse means all humanity, all humans, just as biodiverse means all wildlife, plants, etc. And so when coming up with the title, we thought, hey, biodiversity, biodiverse, let's do biodivergent, because we celebrate the differences in nature. A wonky looking plant or flower, a tree that isn't growing like the rest. We love these plants. We need to look to the trees, and they're all beautiful. and we must embrace them, and that's what I want for neurodivergent people. I have experienced bullying and exclusion in my life, and so I am divergent. There's no shame in that word, and so we went with biodivergent. There's also a double meaning for site, website, but also site-specific, because I am a live artist and I make work live on site. I wanted to bring the site-specific experience to a website where you could experience the canal site live online and interact with the elements of nature and also art making, while also becoming and being an artist too, almost a journey into the artist's body live on site whilst making art yourself.